welcome back to another sexy, cruel episode of the Film Alchemist podcast, the show where we take the movies we love, break them apart, to find out what gives them their magic. I'm your host, Josh Griffey, here on the Film Alchemist podcast with my friend, co-host, and just really into it journaler,
Alex Dandino, yes.
All right, before today's amazing stuffing, let's do a little business. People, it's official. We're on Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/FilmAlchemistPod. The very best way to help the show. The very best way to make the show exactly what you want it to be. You get a vote on Patreon exclusives in our big Patreon exclusive library over there. You get commentaries. You get mini-series. Our Tales from the Crypt mini-series starting this month. Over there, you can find that. You can even get a double feature that you pick out yourself that we'll record for you. So we're trying real hard to make that worth your time. If you would be so kind, go to patreon.com/filmalchemist. I'm sorry, guys. I've been a little under the weather, but I'm hoping the sex is going to bring me back to life, right? I'm like Snow White if you don't have to kiss me on the lips. That's what I'm going for tonight. But yeah, patreon.com/filmalchemistpod. Please, we need it. I need to buy more cough syrup. Neither here nor there. Guys, go to YouTube. The channel's Film Alchemist. You can see our faces over there. The email, filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all the socials. Make sure you leave those 5-star ratings and reviews everywhere and anywhere you find the podcast. We appreciate it. It helps us take down these algorithmic goddamn waspy teenagers that be holding us down. Right. So not only am I a bit under the weather, I almost actually died but 1 hour ago preparing for this show as I watched the end of tonight's film in our The Pod Gets Stuffed month, erotic thriller month. I don't know if this one fits the thriller, but it's interesting and it definitely tries to be erotic. But yeah, I almost choked to death watching the ending of Cruel Intentions, a seminal erotic movie for us growing up. This was one of those movies that we all talked about. I actually had to sneak into the theater to watch it because we weren't allowed to watch such frivolous trash in my household. So we said we were going to go see whatever, and then we snuck into Cruel Intentions, as one does. I don't think I've seen it since that time in the theater. When did this come out, Alex?
Oh, this was a freshie from 1999.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was bought 15 years old. Still had to get rides to the theater, right? But yeah, we snuck in and watched this. It was hot, right? Glad we got the popcorn buckets, that kind of a movie, right?
Yep.
Watching it now, some 20 years removed from that, this has to be one of the most absolutely fucking baffling films I've ever watched. There are so many things that haven't aged with our society. There are so many things that we are just supposed to accept that happen. Just emotional, wild mood swings back and forth between characters. And one of the goddamn funniest scenes in movie history at the end of that fucking story.
Correct.
It is such an absolute hodgepodge of insanity. In the middle of the movie, this is something I wanted to get out right off the bat because this fucking blew my mind. So I'm sitting here watching this movie about these fucking rapists.
Yes.
And in the middle of it, I was just like, what is happening? And my wife goes, it's kind of romantic.
Nope.
And I said, what is romantic in this movie? And she's like, he's like waiting for it at the escalator. And I was like, based on the movie I just saw, that could be from your dare. I don't know. But weird that so many people of our generation thought this was just like a love story.
Yeah.
My wife said romantic. Andrea, your wife, agreed.
Also said the same thing right before the pod. I asked her, I was like, hey, do you think Cruel Intentions is a romantic movie? And she goes, yeah, I can see that. And I'm like, by what rationale? I must know. It's baffling. And this, by the way, probably one of my favorite movies. I know that sounds really tacky, but like this movie is like, it's one of those like DNA movies. Not for me, but like more or less like this movie came out like, this was 99. Buffy had already been out. So it was like a big deal. Sarah Michelle Gellar was like the love of my life at that time. We all had our girl, and I fucking
she didn't
loved Sarah.
know, but yeah,
I loved Sarah Michelle Gellar. And I remember like this movie came out almost simultaneous because she was trying to transition out of being teeny bopper kid. Because this was right as all these kinds of like this was 99, so like all of the teenage Shakespeare movies were coming out. Like it was a big fucking to do. This came out though, and like it was this
About
one,
nothing.
and then there's this one, and then there's another movie, and I don't remember what the real name is for it now, but it was called the original working title is called Vanilla Fog. She did this one with Sean Patrick Flannery.
Powder.
No, not that good. No.
That could have been called Vanilla Fog.
So this one, so it was like this one. So it was Cruel Intentions and Vanilla Fog were like the two movies that were like her trying to step out of. I don't want to turn into Jennifer. Basically, I don't want to be Jennifer Love Hewitt. So she tried doing movies like this.
Full Dahmer, right off
full
the bat.
Dahmer in this one.
It's
yeah.
Let's just start here because this movie.
I love this movie, by the way. Like I unabashedly love this movie. It's
as
so
I'm
entertaining.
watching the movie, and I just kept, what the fuck? Every scene, I felt like I was saying that at some point. It is so mean-spirited.
Oh, dude.
It is so much crueler than I remember.
It's the cruelest of
thing,
intentions.
I wonder if I had not seen this young. I don't know why. It is just a fun fucking movie to watch. It's kind of the Megazord version of a soap opera.
Yeah.
Let's start here.
It is legitimately funny.
It is. The fucking back and forth. The dialogue is really good. Again, a lot of it has not aged well. But it's got some snappy fucking, screwball comedy timing kind of back and forths.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start here. How fucking old is anyone in this movie supposed to be?
So
besides Ronald, who's definitely too fucking old.
Right. So Ronald is for sure in college.
Selma Blair is no older than 15 years old in this movie.
I believe Selma Blair, I believe. So here's my...
Because they're in a prep high school, right?
Right. So it's a prep high school. It's my understanding...
she's a freshman, probably.
It's my understanding... No. Now, here's the difference. I do not think she's supposed to be a freshman. I think she is... I think all of them are supposed to be seniors. Except for Cecile, who I believe is probably supposed to be a junior. Because otherwise, why would because they try to set it so Sarah
it would help if Selma Blair didn't play her as a grown-up Shirley Temple.
Listen, that is one of the funniest aspects of this movie is how uncomfortable Selma Blair makes you by acting like a person who literally has a mental deficiency.
Funny side note, my wife, another Cruel Intentions story at Amy's expense, she said that when she lived in college, her roommate called her out and was like, hey, have you ever seen this movie, Cruel Intention? And Amy's like, yeah, I love it. And she's like, watch this part. And she played one of the scenes with Selma Blair, and she goes, it's you.
Burn.
She said my wife acts like Cecile in real life.
If you watch the YouTube channel, sometimes you'll see I have a Cruel Intentions t-shirt that I have that I've got at Target years ago. I went and saw the 20th anniversary screening in LA for this.
Wow.
This movie is one of those.
Just letting people know you're here to sling.
It was one of those really weird movies, and I'm like, because even when I saw it in whenever it came out on VHS, because I did not go to the theater that I remember seeing this, but whenever I watched it, I remember being like, how is this movie a thing? Even then I was like, there's no way people actually exist like this.
No, okay, so to get back to the point, these kids are just driving around telling other people to fuck off, right? And
driving around in vintage cars, nice vintage cars in New York.
They have this whole fucking penthouse to themselves where they just rub on each other constantly.
Yeah.
Never an adult around who's involved with the main story, right? We see an aunt and we see a fucking old lady they hate and a therapist, right?
Right.
We start the movie with Sebastian telling his therapist he's a sex maniac, only to find out he fucking revenge porned her daughter.
Yeah, a cool little Tara Reid cameo. Who's also going? So she's grad. So this is why I think Sebastian's a senior, because Sebastian and Catherine are going to be seen. This is the summer before their senior year.
Sebastian can be a senior. Selma Blair's character is definitely not.
No, that goes without saying. Like,
And again, how old were you when you were a senior in high school? I was maybe 17 years old.
No, I mean, like, let's be very clear. Sebastian's character is full blown a sex offender, like, without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Like, not only him. There's multiple. But this is the thing. This goes in my, again, when I was a teenager, I don't believe there are these fucking dick terminators as teenagers, right?
Right.
Even the people I knew who were actually getting pussy, it was kind of these sloppy, like, cornfield drunk parties where it's like, the fucking quick, like, down and dirty drunk, like, couple minutes. Right. You're like, oh, yeah, oh. Like, these guys were not these fucking sexual monsters.
Well, I mean, the taste. Well, that was the other thing, too, is, like, just, like, again, I could never, and I still haven't, wrap my head around just the upscale nature of these children's lives. Like, nothing about what happens. Like, again, the parties they must go to are all, like,
their
catered,
whole fucking life is a party.
Catered for sure. They're all drinking very, very nice champagne and wines. There's no beer to be had.
I don't think there's even parties. I think Ryan Phillippe is a fucking monster, and he Dahmers people back to his little fuck shack. It's insane. It's insane.
And then he journals about them like a creep.
He
definitely a Dahmer.
Journals like Kevin Spacey in Seven. Not almost as creepy as Kevin Spacey in real life. Neither here nor there. I'm just saying. It's one of those movies I'm watching. It reminded me of when we watched O. And I was like, why is this movie pretending to be about high school kids, right? There's this weird thing that movies did for a while where they love these hyper fucking sexualized children movies. People in high school are not like American Pie, where everyone's just trying to get like laid for the first time or jerk off. Again, a movie that didn't age well in the creep factor. Not nearly as bad as this. So Sebastian fucks Selma Blair. His sister's telling him to fucking do it all the time. She kisses her. Yeah. And then he fucking gets her drunk. Tries to get nude pictures of her. Goes down on her. Then they're helping Ronald fuck her. Who's a college dude.
This is another really important aspect of this movie. The premise. The base premise for moving the plot forward is a bet that... Hang on. So...
Right.
We haven't even talked about Reese Witherspoon, and it's almost inconsequential. But so it's like, can Sebastian fuck Reese Witherspoon's character by the end of summer?
Right, because she has taken a vow of celibacy that was in a magazine.
Right. She like wrote about it in Teen People or some shit. The rules of which are, if Sebastian loses, he has to give up his like Porsche Roadster,
Jaguar
like the nicest,
Roadster, whatever,
nicest car I've literally ever seen in a movie for anyone under the age of 20. The winner, should it be Sebastian, all he wants to do is fuck his stepsister.
He wants anal. Because at first he's like, nice try, and she goes, you can put it anywhere, and he's like, you got yourself a goddamn deal.
You got yourself a deal, baby. That is the functioning premise of this film for teenagers.
His stepsister, who he's already fucked, we find out.
Yeah.
But now it's anal. So now he's going to, I will destroy everything in my path.
To fuck my stepsister.
Again, these two rapists fucking dueling for fucking
dueling rapists. It's really something.
It's a dueling rapist movie, right? So these fucking dueling rapists are going out because she wants to destroy Selma Blair because she was giving head to a passed out guy, and then now he's with Selma Blair.
Right.
So she's gonna destroy everything, right? Again, this is fucking insane to even try to like speak this premise out loud.
I mean,
so Reese Witherspoon is a national level famous virgin who lives with his aunt who rides horses and lets him canoodle around her estate doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Not only like, so she has like this insane, like it is a castle. And like, again, it's one of those things where I don't know the geography. Like look, I've worked in New York enough. I've worked on Long Island. I've worked in Brooklyn. I've worked on the island. Like, I cannot tell you
not those where fucking rich alcoves,
where this place is seated, because quite frankly, it makes no sense geographically where it could be. It's insane. It's an insane house.
It doesn't matter where it is. It's a house of fucking crime. That's why.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, he's the boy in High Castle up there just trying to fucking add another notch to his fucking, I don't know, waist 24 belt. This fucking scumbag.
He throws on Love Fool by the Cardigans to get in her pants, and for some reason that does not work.
So when he first meets her, he drags her by the hand. Come on, much to show you. And then he just goes, I think you're a dumb bitch.
You're a stupid bitch.
Yeah. Nice hypocrite. Let's suck dicks. And she's like, what? No, ew, gross. But not enough. She sees him swimming and his dong out, and she's like,
Oh.
And then we essentially do this, battle of the negs for the rest of the film.
Almost entirely.
And that's their story, right? And we also have Catherine trying to destroy Selma Blair's character by making her stepbrother fuck her.
Oh, yeah.
And have Ronald fuck her while she fucks Ronald.
This is another thing. One of the O'Connells makes a cameo as the guy that so the reason she wants to destroy Selma Blair's life is because basically she blew an O'Connell.
He called her a bulimic crackhead, I think.
Yeah, she blew an O'Connell at a 4th of July party, and
they're like the affable Baldwins. Sometimes they're just stuff. Yeah.
So she did that, and then he found out that she was dating Selma Blair, so now she's vowed to destroy her.
All right, let's ask this question. I'm just going to keep queuing up questions, and we'll see what we get out of it.
I think that's the only thing we can do for this movie.
What kind of a dumb sack of shit mom is like, I'm going to feed my daughter to these rich rapists and see if they can make her cool?
Well, isn't Christine Baranski the most perfectly cast dumb bitch mother? It's amazing.
Does she ever get cast in anything where she's not a rich piece of shit?
No. In the Birdcage, she's almost not a piece of shit.
Assholes.
In the Birdcage, she's only 40% piece of shit.
Even the Grinch, where she's like, I'll fuck the Grinch. She's still running around with the mayor and being high class.
But no, this is
she's like
this
a 1% of Whoville. She's the this is to me this is the apex of
Christine Baranski douchebaggery. It's pretty impressive. Actually, this was the first movie I ever heard a woman referred to as a douchebag. And I thought that was hilarious.
Not only that, how about this? Not only is she this fucking moron who's writing letters to a teenager telling her not to fuck another teenager.
By the way, letters.
That's an insane
email exists at this point.
No, because emails for pedophiles. Remember, that's what he says. Write a letter. Emails for pedophiles.
No, actually, reverse, sir.
Let's stop, right? Of her many fucking flaws. Let's say that she doesn't realize that these people are fucking sexual meat grinders, right? Fine.
Right.
This fucking dumb sack of shit takes time out of her fucking busy day of fucking probably drinking mimosas for brunch and taking tennis lessons.
Yeah, she's very ladies who lunch.
To write a letter to a fucking teenager she read as a virgin in a magazine who's moving to the school and say, hey, welcome to the school. I want to fucking lick your fucking dad's butthole so my fucking daughter can have a career. P.S. Don't fuck this guy.
Don't fuck that
guy.
Because
I'm an old lady that knows he fucks a lot. Imagine
Don't
moment in your
guy.
life
He's a
where
meanie.
you, not only this, imagine taking time out of your day to communicate with a teenager you don't have a connection with. I can't imagine one fucking thing in my life where I'm like, you know what I need to do is fucking communicate with a fucking teenager. And not only that, I'm going to keep building the case. Not only is she fucking that
There's
dumb.
no case to be built.
She's that dumb and that petty. They're like, just in case you don't get the idea, and you're like, well, she's just a mom trying to do good in the community. They just fucking drop a racism.
Sweet race card.
A racism anvil right on her fucking character's head.
Okay, so we haven't even talked. So Sean Patrick Thomas's character, what's his name? I never remember the name. Ronald. So
yeah,
Ronald is her cello instructor, which again, I'm just like, dude, you are definitely in your 20s. You are definitely in your 20s and you're trying to fuck what's essentially a 17-year-old girl. Whatever.
If you would have told me her character was supposed to be 14, I would accept that.
Well, yeah, because again, Selma Blair is fucking brilliant in this movie. And it's because
the amount of time she tries to get physical contact or hugs and they just throw her on the floor.
Unbelievable.
It's a baffling comedy routine that happens over and over in this movie.
I've paused this movie. Actually, I got yelled at for laughing too hard in the theater when after they fucked at the end of the movie, he shoved by her face.
This is quiet time.
shoved her off the bed, I literally could not stop laughing in a theater. I got in trouble. Like, it was one of those things, like, I'm like, I should not be laughing this hard at, like, this physical violence, but that was fucking hysterical pratfall. Like, there's nothing funnier than that moment right there. Like, the amount
there
of
is, and we'll talk about it. There's something way fucking funnier
there's
than
something
that.
way funnier. The amount of physical comedy that Selma Blair puts into her performance in this movie is unparalleled. It's incredible what she does in this movie. Because, again, you have to accept the absolute insanity that this person is not completely mentally ill. It's like something is wrong with her.
That
right?
makes it worse because we're just watching her be feasted upon by these fucking rapist jackals left and right. Okay,
well, like,
let me ask you another
starts
question.
The movie like
let me cue this up with you. Are Ryan Phillippe and fucking Reese Witherspoon still married?
In the movie? Oh, right now? No.
Yeah.
They haven't been married for a very long time.
Least shocking result to a marriage of all time. The least fucking chemistry that maybe has ever existed, even though this is the part specifically my wife said was romantic. The disservice they do to this young fucking nationally famous virgin.
Is it because of the kind of... Yeah.
That she's so fucking hollow at her core. This movie's basic premise seems to be telling us that every teenager is a fucking rapist in waiting, right?
Yes.
The fact that this movie expects me to believe that for but a second, this fucking wafy, fucking malignant force in the middle of the film, this fucking living hard-on of carnivorous appetites,
awesome,
somehow tricks this girl into having sex with him is one of the most fucking insane things I've ever experienced in a movie. It's so fucking audacious and insulting to me as a grown-up that I have to respect it and laugh at it.
Yeah. Like,
he literally tells this fucking old grandma he fucked her daughter. She doesn't remember. And then he's trying to sexually weaponize the grandma to get this girl all fucking juiced up. And she goes, "You didn't really like it." He goes, "No, I hate it. I hate charity." And she goes, "That's okay. That doesn't make you bad." And holds his hand.
It's one of those things where, like, again,
what?
He is just this throbbing cock throughout the entire movie. And it's, like, unstoppable. But every single thing he does, there's no, like, have you ever and we've watched a lot of, like, movies with completely one-dimensional characters. Like, we did an entire month of Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard movies. Have you ever seen a movie where the main character was so one-dimensional? Like, there's literally nothing going on. It's just vacant.
Yeah, it reminds me of last month when we talked about The Keep with Brian and Blake. And they go, what a weird thing that the movie's asking us to sympathize with a Nazi. That Nazi is more sympathetic than this little fucking rich rapist. He is an absolute fucking criminal, right? He's a fucking, he feasts on young women. He fucking puts them on the internet. He does journals. He fucking blackmails a quarterback for being gay.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, what could you fucking not put on this guy's resume? But here's the thing. One more thing before we get to that. So not only is his resume of fucking crimes just longer than my arm at this point in the movie.
It's quite the rap sheet.
The fucking twist of the movie that somehow in the 90s it felt like as a mass audience we said, okay, was that this fucking criminal rapist falls in love and we're like, good for you, dude. You're growing up. What the fuck were we thinking?
Is that not one of the most amazing things about the 90s? Is like, you could make a movie like this and the hero of the film is a complete and utter scumbag criminal rapist. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
He finally learned at the end how to love. It's like, guys, this is not Beauty and the Beast. All right, let's not get into this.
No, it's just all beast everywhere. And then one fucking young
the Beast was so much more sympathetic. This is literally just a throbbing cock.
If this movie had an alternative title, it could be just called White Privilege. You could not make this movie about anyone who was not rich and white.
No, absolutely not.
Because anyone else would be like, ooh, rapes, I don't like that. But you're like, he's just a rich teenager who, fucking takes care of himself.
Fun.
Yeah, they're just rich. That's all they do is fucking orgies, and their parents put fucking mask on them, and you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck. If you're on YouTube, you just saw, I don't know what that was. Rich people stuff. I don't.
Again, rich people stuff like the other part of this.
Name me a movie. Like, the only other character I was like, it's like this guy and the fucking weird, bulbous, sweaty guy from Human Centipede 2. Maybe the fucking Firefly family from House of a Thousand Corpses. Like, this is the level of fucking scumbag this guy is.
It's an exceptional scumbaggery. You can't deny that.
I mean, one of the very first, I'm going to put another fucking young girl, right? Senior in high school. I'm going to put her fucking naked body online. Can we get back to, I feel like we glossed over this. He fucking gets this young fucking girl, Selma Blair, into his room. Mm-hmm. Tells her it's tea. And gets her hammered on Long Island.
Hammered on Long Island iced teas.
Yeah. Photographs her, unzips her fucking hoodie, and then says, I want a kiss, but not on those lips. A promise is a promise. And then, I feel like I'm fucking turning into Lewis Black. And then, the very next scene later, they use his stepsister to fucking victim blame and gaslight her right in front of our fucking faces.
Yeah.
As if you couldn't tell this movie was fucking 20 years old.
It's not even that. Like, it's beyond that, though. Like, the next scene, she tells the story where, again, like, she whispers what he did. She's like, he spelled the alphabet, but he spelled it. Oh, my. I'm like, all right, great. That's really cool. Whatever. Then, it's not even a victim blame.
Everything's about academics with these kids.
It's not even a victim blame. She literally is like, it'd be stupid for you to stop now. I suggest you sleep with this. Like, what is going on? And then she's like, and then, again, we get this amazing Selma Blair bit, which is when she's like, so it's like a secret society? And you're like, oh my God, this girl does not know what's happening. And you're like, this is horrible. Everybody
watching her get gaslit. She's saying, I'm a fucking child. Your brother fucking drunked me up.
Tongue raped
and took advantage of
okay.
me. And she just goes, no, but you liked it,
it's
right?
Cool.
I was like, oh my God.
We all do it. It's fine. Like,
the fucking rage I felt in my soul for a movie that was just like everyone saw in theaters. And we're like, that movie was exciting and awesome. It is funny how left behind this gets. Again, I feel like I'm talking a lot of shit about this movie. I'm not talking shit about this movie.
No.
It makes the most fucking insane choices.
Yeah. It's an important thing. Like, there's no shit to talk about the movie because, like, the movie is insanity. There's no way you can watch this movie and be like, well, this takes place in the real world. It's not like you're watching
every fucking beat is more implausible than the next. So the fucking racist teenage affair interfering mom sends her daughter out with this lady after, her fucking cello instructions, right? Sarah Michelle Gellar is fucking filming them on a fucking nanny cam, trying to get fuck tapes to use against this child, right? And this other rapist, Ronald. They go out to a picnic, and just like we're supposed to believe, let's just fucking, I'll teach you how to make out, right? And again, I saw this as a child.
Famous scene.
And this is why everyone in my friends group is like, we got to go see that fucking movie, dude.
Absolutely.
And we all were like ecstatic.
Best kiss at the MTV Movie Awards? Absolutely.
High honors. I was like, what the fuck is going on, right? It's this weird titillation of children for our fucking mass media consumption. It's such a weird thing. Okay, let me say something that is stunning about this movie. I know it won the high fucking praise of the Golden Popcorn.
Say something that's stunning about this movie?
Well, not stunning as in, like, how the fuck am I supposed to accept that? Sarah Michelle Gellar could have gotten nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. She is she's fucking diabolical.
Like, okay, first off, like, she carries the whole movie. I'm not saying that, like,
literally the whole movie.
Like,
we could say it. Ryan Phillippe in this movie, he's not doing nearly as well as Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There's some decent line reads. Like, he does have there's some good comedic timing, but I think a lot of that comes from editing. He
devolves when he stops being snarky.
Yeah, like the snark thing, he does really well.
Yeah,
and then
him and Sarah Michelle Gellar at the start, like beep beep, and then they're like, "Hey, pretend to cry a little."
Yeah,
it's like,
and then when it becomes serious, it doesn't really work. Like him, Sarah Michelle Gellar through the entire movie is utterly incredible. That, like, her whole thing about like, so she has this amazing line of dialogue where basically for some reason this rapist probably thinks he's finally going to get caught and has second thoughts real quick. He's like, you realize we're about to destroy someone's life. We've done some pretty fucked up shit. I'm like, yeah, we know. We've watched a lot of it already. We've done some pretty fucked up shit in our time, but like, come on. And she gives this incredible line of dialogue, which like, again, for a movie like this, like kind of shouldn't be in the movie, but it is this awesome, like, statement on feminism. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, the double standard that is occurring right now is insane. Like, you literally fuck people routinely, you get called like some cool sexual maven. I express any interest in sexuality and I'm like labeled a slut immediately. Like, fuck you, fuck the whole fucking patriarchy. Like, it's a very fascinating, but again, that line of dialogue in anybody else's mouth in this movie sucks. She is utterly incredible. Like,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
amazing.
it's all bullshit. We're not worried that you're just getting laid a lot. It's the other fucking crimes you're committing. No,
yeah, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying
mean.
It's true. I'm saying it's delivered very well.
Whereas Ryan Phillippe is a rapist that I never get behind in the movie because they try to turn him square. She is just this fucking exposed monster.
Yeah.
Right? And she takes so much fucking delight and glee in her fucking tortures that she becomes not a person anymore, but some kind of fucking horror movie monster. And she just delivers every line with this fucking dripping venom. The scene where there's a lot of scenes of her like rubbing on his dick and shit. And, he's like, and she's like, bye. The scene where she has the other rapist, Ronald, in her fucking foot drawer. And he comes out with this French tickler and runs away. And then she's
fucked
like,
up shit going on around here.
Oh, you're here for arrangements. And he's like, I'm not in the mood. She's like, I want to fuck. She fucking throws the shit. Yep. And then she comes in and starts fucking laying into him, right? You can't fucking change. You can't do this. He comes back later and he's fucking sitting in her room like Daredevil, right? Like crying.
Sunglasses,
I lost
crying,
love. Right?
Champagne, the whole
Just
thing.
because his sister's like, yeah, this probably is going to be hard for you to change all your fucking crimes. And he's like, yeah, that will be a hard one to swallow for sure. He goes and just fucking horribly breaks up with Reese Witherspoon, right? He comes back and he's in her room. He's like, well, I'm sad. I'm here for anal, dressed like Daredevil. And she does this shit, right, where she's, like, let's toast to my triumph. And she laughs and she goes, my triumph was over you, right? I got you to give up the one thing you love.
Right.
And she's like, it tastes good. And the line at the end, she goes, but the problem is I don't fuck losers.
I don't fuck losers.
And I was like, it's so fucking demented. That whole moment, this brother is here to fucking have anal sex with his stepsister like it's, I don't know, today's Pornhub, right? But back in the 90s, that was taboo. Right? Absolutely. Now it's every fucking stepmom or sister's caught in some appliance and everyone's fucking running up on them. This was taboo back then. And when she just says that, you fucking loser. And just these little lines, right? Where she's like, yeah, Selma Blair, Secret Society, that's one way to think of it. She turns around, she's like, fucking idiot. I mean, she's so just fucking perfect at the core of this movie. Yeah. Right? Because her mean-spiritedness is so fucking razor sharp, but it still maintains this level of fun. Right? I think that's one of the things you have to grapple with today is it's such a fucking cringe-inducing movie at times. But it's still really fun. I don't know if people finding it today will think that.
I mean, look, I think in today's lens, the movie is horrifying, like without a doubt. Like,
yeah. I mean, they're all just horrible criminals.
There's nothing that's aged well other than Christine Baranski as a rich Karen who was super secretly racist. Like, not really secretly either because she doesn't have to.
They stuck that one. They stuck that landing pretty hard.
Yeah, that one was pretty. And again, like, but it was also, and again, this movie has like amazing comedy bits where it's like, so they throw this racism in there, which is
I thought you were going to say like him smoking clove cigarettes all the time.
No, not that. That I was like, that is the stupidest thing. I'm like, it's the least cool thing you could be doing. But
I had a clove cigarette phase. I was trying to be more artistic.
But like, so he's given the cello and she like walks in. She's like, who do you think you are? And again, it's Christine Baranski. Like, she's a fucking Tony winning actress. She's fucking incredible. And she gives this whole diatribe and then she starts bringing up like it comes like, oh, don't give me that crap. I've donated money to Colin Powell. I'm like, that right there.
She gets out them.
You had absolutely nothing. And then like she's like, we took you in off the street. She's like, off the street? I live at 59th and Park. You're like,
yeah, what
perfect.
The fuck?
perfect. This like
They
white
don't live in the same world as us. None of them.
This rich white assumes that she's the only one in the plaza who can live somewhere in posh.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. And it does such a good job of just like, all right, cool. We all knew she was a dick. Like, now she's a racist too. Like, perfect.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect shield that the rapist has to like go through the rest of the movie. Like, for like 5 seconds, you forget that he's a rapist. You're like, oh, wow, he got badmouthed by that. Oh, wait, he's a rapist. Never mind.
I'm halfway tempted to find any other movie podcast that's talked about this movie. And, like, how long before they just called them all rapists?
They're all rapists.
Like, I think we got to it pretty quick. All right, let's just talk about one of his non-rapes, right? Maybe his only non-rape of the whole movie. Okay, here's another weird thing while we're on it. He just keeps a fucking bowl of sex cherries by his bed. He's, like, 17 years old. Neither here nor there. So he nags Reese Witherspoon, right? He's breaking her down.
Right.
He fucking goes out, tries to get a kiss while she's reading fucking rich person literature. I don't know. And then he's like, well, I can't take it anymore. I can't take a game. And he runs into her room and confronts her.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking goes in on this, I can't take your games. And you're a hypocrite. Because you saw love and you ran away. And this isn't about fucking, virgin stuff. This is about love. When she reaches past him and says, wait, and locks that door, if I weren't fat, I would have done a backflip. That's how much energy was coursing through my body. So I was like, this is the most absurd moment, besides the one we're going to talk about in a minute, in any movie. She is a nationally known virgin.
Yes.
With all these morals, who's dressing him down. From day one knows he's full of shit, right? Even though he blackmails the quarterback into going and fucking wingmanning for him, right? Neither here nor there. She just caves. And in that moment, he goes, I can't. And he walks away and she cries.
Right.
That's the moment we as the audience are supposed to be like, nice.
Yeah.
What a
like
guy.
All of a sudden, he's like found some like some sort of human emotion he was missing.
Then he just stalks her to the fucking subway, right? Screaming at people on the phone. They fuck.
Yep.
His sister-in-law
to Counting
says,
Crows.
Yeah, his sister-in-law or his stepsister says no anal, burn, and he goes, well, I better call her back. His great plan is he runs to her house, tosses his fucking sex journal,
gives that cool
the
journal
literal
up.
documentation of all of his crimes, not to her, to her fucking mother. Yells past her into her fucking rich person dinner party, and he says, hey, make sure your daughter gets this. What happens in that movie?
But don't read it or I will go to jail.
What happens in that movie, Annette never sees that journal. The mom just reads it. It's like, oh my God, this is steamy as hell. And then fucking Sebastian goes to jail.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
The fact
that
the
journal.
Him giving her the journal, and he's like, hey, I didn't cut out your picture and put it in there, so I'm a changed man. Here's all these other fucking preteen girls I've had sex with.
Right.
The fact that is a moment that the creative forces behind this movie are like, this is going to humanize him. This is our saves the cat, right? Instead of saving a cat to make your character likable, have him hand a written manifesto of all of his sex crimes.
Yeah. Hand over the Unabomber manifesto and
to the woman he loves. Yeah. Okay. This. So he fucking hands over his rapist manifesto. He stands there all night like a creep. She sees him leave in the morning, and Reese Witherspoon runs out of her house with, some kind of weird fucking white outfit on. She's like, I'm going to chase him down.
Right.
Catherine, the fucking stepsister, has called Ronald and said, he hit me, and he's fucking the girl who's underage that is actually in your bed right now while we're on this phone call. Ronald goes over, takes umbrage, right? So these
umbrage that he's having sex with that underage girl that he wanted to have sex with.
He's like, no sharesies. This is a one-man crime team.
I do one underage girl, and you got to take her out from under. Yeah. Very uncool.
This fucking underage sex ring is not. It's Ocean's One, one and only me.
One ocean, one ocean. This guy, you are out.
There's only one very underage fish in this ocean. One. That's it. No more sharks allowed.
No more.
And they get into a fight on the street, and Sebastian says, I'm sorry for also committing the same sex crime.
Right.
They get in a brawl. Now, I'm fucking not kidding the audience here. I'm not saying this to be facetious. I actually almost choked to death. Had to push my wife off of me like she was Cecile in this movie. Roll on the floor because I almost fucking choked. I laughed so hard.
It's
because Reese Witherspoon gets pushed into traffic during their fight.
Right.
Sebastian jumps in her way, pushes her out, gets hit by a car. And he goes, I love you. I'm sorry, I'm a rapist. I love you. The movie fucking cuts to one of those fucking funeral headshots surrounded by flowers. And I almost fucking choked. I wasn't even eating. I was choking on my own spit. I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard.
I've never. This is true. This is a true thing.
What a fucking stupid.
I have never not laughed at that cut.
I love you. Cut. Dead.
Dead. You're like, oh, wow. So when I was younger.
This is our audience moment of empathy, though, because a rapist got run over.
So when I was younger, I tried rash. I was like, oh, wow, if you get hit by a car, like, you'll definitely die. And, like, now, granted, I'm not saying that people who get hit by cars don't get killed.
Ryan Phillippe weighs 115 pounds.
Yeah. So, like, watching the movie when I was younger, I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Oh, dude.
However, Jackass came out at the same time, and we watched, like, guys with way less body weight.
Rich people are not tough like the Jackass guys.
So, either way, so regardless.
Are you saying this is a King Kong? 'Twas beauty slayed the beast.
No, not even close. Not like that. That's so much more highbrow than I think any of this.
I think this moment, though, again, it's one of the fucking stupidest things I've ever seen. To the point I almost died laughing. Undeniably entertaining.
So
that is the weird fucking magic of this movie, as they're doing these insane and stupid things and making me just accept that reality. It just continues to manage to be insanely entertaining the whole time.
Yeah, and like so you have this absurd, like, hard cut. All of a sudden they're at a funeral, like, oh, that guy died. Okay, cool. And again, like, you're like, what else can this hilarious movie throw at us at this point? We get one of the, again, like, we get one of, and I say this as someone who fucking enjoys the shit out of this movie. We get one of, bar none, the dumbest endings to a movie ever. And it starts in the bathroom, and
that scene is awesome.
It's just, so she's like doing blow from her crucifix. That's like half the bit in the movie. She's doing blow from her crucifix, and Reese Witherspoon walks up, and I'm like, you two obviously fucking know each other. Don't do this thing where you're like, oh, I didn't know you. You're new here? Oh, that's cute. All right. Like, really? We're going to do that? Like, did you know Sebastian? A little. Like, don't do this. Like, literally, you've seen each other. Don't be that. And then, so they start doing this funeral service. This is the part that I always just like start dying laughing. It's like people start running like, hey.
This girl runs in like she's the fucking orc into Two Towers.
Yeah, she's like the Oracle. When you find out.
Come out here and read this fucking rape book.
Check it out. This rapist manifesto got published.
Dude, these are our classmates. This shit is wild.
This is crazy. So, this is like always the thing.
That's what I mean. This is so fucking stupid.
It's like, so that means some girl ran in. Now here's one side of it. I'm about to explain the other part of like the depravity of this. So one girl runs in to this entire congregation, starts, hey, this rapist
all the olds just keep sitting there like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Here's another thing. They don't make sure to illustrate that this kid's parents came back from his funeral, wherever the fuck he was.
From like Fiji or Bali or wherever they're from. Okay, hang on. So she ran in whispering, hey, the rapist manifesto has been published and it's outside. Here's the other side of that. So the journal, obviously, that Annette has, Reese Witherspoon's character has, Annette took it upon herself to go to a print shop.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I have an unlimited amount of money. Can we
get a real good title page, though?
Can I get a real? Yeah, like this is what I want. I want this journal bound.
Yeah.
in the Spiral Notebook?
Yeah.
And also, can you title it Cruel Intentions, The Journal of Sebastian Valmont?
Sick.
And can I get 500 copies by like next Monday because I have to go to school?
Here is the dumbest fucking icing on this cake that made me, again, almost die laughing. So not only does she print out this whole fucking manifesto.
Rather than taking it to the police.
Yeah. This is my rapist boyfriend who I still love. I'm going to drive off in his car that I'm assuming she illegally stole with a copy of his actual fucking manifesto like it's the Necronomicon. And she's going to summon his ass back from hell, but they're going to be like, no, not him. He's too deep. The dumbest fucking thing in this scene, which I died laughing, who does she make the paper delivery boy for her fucking rape journal? The youngest victim in the book. She's like, hey, I know this will make you feel better. Why don't we get this out about the
By the way,
hey, can you hand this out and tell everyone that you're fucking...
Hey, here's a book. By the way, read the first page where they talk about how bet that they could turn...
She smiles as she hands it to...
She like has this like, gotcha. It's like, no, that was not how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for revenge, but like, you should be talking to that therapist, not the one from the start of the movie, but like a real therapist.
All right, so, but hang on. Now, this is my all-time favorite cutaway.
How about this? The fucking flashbacks of romance we're supposed to remember.
Yeah, whatever. Now, that might be an important moment. This is literally the funniest like cutaway I've ever seen in a movie. Is everyone like all of these extremely rich?
I know
white
exactly
people,
what you're going to talk about.
All these extremely rich. Now, if you're watching, I'm going to do it because if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to do the scene. Okay,
the extra whites.
Everyone, all the extra whites are reading the journal. I'm doing that. There's one guy who definitely plays basketball or field hockey, and it's a cutaway. Looks up and he goes,
yeah. And then they pair it with this fucking girl. Oh. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are there just two of them?
Also,
what about the rule of threes?
You guys have gone to school together with all these people. How are you surprised by this behavior? Half of this is you people. I don't understand what is going on.
35 of you are in the journal. Why are you?
The most shocking, yeah. The most shocking thing is how bad these parents are, because then the principal comes out and he's like, "Oh, your cocaine, your cocaine."
What they didn't show you is that he was just taking that for himself. He's like, "Mine."
Nice. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, Sebastian Voldemort, fuck some more people. Call me when an emergency happens. I know. I'm the headmaster. We got a file a mile long of this guy's fucking sex crimes.
Oh my goodness, what could we possibly do?
I'll be in the church doing this girl's blow. Besmirch her reputation. This is the thing about the movie, though.
It's an absolute calamity.
I almost feel like this should have been the commentary. So you could just hear me screaming and laughing every scene.
It still could be when you think about it. It might have to be.
Our commentary is going to be a good one, too. But that's like at least a movie with a story.
Yeah.
This movie is so fucking stupid at every level, right? The script with good dialogue and fun actors, right? The story is so stupid and so unacceptable by any standard of what criminals are. And it just makes the flashbacks, the fucking Hallmark movie flashbacks of this romance where this guy's just nagging this girl to break every moral belief she has so he can then crush her. Right. Had he not gotten crushed by that car, he would have kept crushing her and it would be over, right?
So, okay.
Somehow making every fucking wrong choice besides casting, this movie is so goddamn appealing.
So works.
You can't turn it off. You can't stop watching. Even as you scream, "Stop insulting me!" You almost. I felt like when I used to go to that bar and get spanked for $10. You remember that place? I would walk in every Monday. I'd get a drink, and this giant lady would spank me by a regular Nintendo. That's what this movie's like.
I think this is like, I feel entertained the entire time for all the reasons that I watch, like it's the reasons you watch like Mystery Science Theater 3000 a lot of the time. But again,
see, this isn't like a Birdemic.
Enjoying this movie. Yeah. No, not at all.
This
no.
has like
I'm not
real
saying
performance. It has some good
real
dialogue.
But That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like the pleasure I derive from this movie is not from like watching it. Like this isn't a movie that I would watch by myself. Like I watch this with like Andrea. I watched this with like when I went to go see it in theaters, I went with Andrea and then Evan and his girlfriend Maliha. Like that's like, it's like one of those things where you're like, I'm going to enjoy this because we're all going to watch this absurd story unfold. So absurd and entertaining, by the way. I don't know if you know this. There was a prequel and a sequel to this movie.
Wow.
There's a prequel starring Amy Adams.
This gets back to my exact point, though. What the fuck was going on with us in 1996? We're just
99.
watching the movie of these lovable scamp rapists. We're just like, oh, that's New York City. New York City. We can let that happen over there.
This came out the same year. This came out the same weekend as Analyze This.
Well, it's way better than that, but that's neither here nor there.
Right, that's not really what I'm getting at here. What I'm saying is there is...
You're saying it was a time of learning to like bad people.
Well, no, 99 was like... We're like, let's see, this came out, what, March 99? Yeah, March 1999. We're on the cusp of the millennium. Mm-hmm. Like, Y2K
after
is a
Y2K,
thing.
it could have been any... We could have all been Sebastians had Y2K
We're in a
happened.
we're in a really weird moment in time because, like, 99 is just one of those, like, it was, I hate to put it this way, but 99 is this sweet spot in cinema history where literally you could get away with, like, anything for some reason. I don't know why.
It's just weird that our parents loved so many movies that were about, like, kids fucking all the time. Like, it's a weird thing that, like, really took off, right? This, like, let's hypersexualize.
I'm not sure they understood.
I mean, I get it, but now I am probably my parents' age when they were watching this, and it's like, guys, it's right there. It's all right there. They're not. There's nothing in this movie that's subtext. This is fucking text, billboard letter high. Everything they want you to notice. And we're just like, well, you know, he tried to turn it around for like 2 days. The timeline of this movie is like 4 days.
Even though it's supposed to be like a month and a half or something.
I mean, this movie, I think, takes place in a couple days.
Also, apparently there's I'm sorry, I'm also moving on to this. There's apparently also a off-Broadway musical version of this.
Now that I would watch.
That I've got to see.
No, I mean, like, I don't know what to say. It hasn't aged well. It's ludicrous.
Not at all. Very not.
But something about all that comes together, and
entertaining.
it's a movie that's just really fun to sit in. I don't know why. I mean, I don't fucking hold it against American Psycho that guy's a piece of shit running around. I do think it's weird that my wife said it was romantic. I think maybe she hasn't watched it since she was younger too, and she just had a crush on.
Maybe
Ryan
she has a
Phillippe.
crush on Counting Crows.
She did, for sure.
I am ready.
Went to see them live with her college roommate. I thought I'd never get her back. It's strange.
Song.
It's strange. I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's fucking insane. It's an insane.
It is perverse
collection
and
of
weird,
choices,
and yet oddly very entertaining.
Just fucking entertaining. It was a blast to watch and just yell and get hyped up.
That's it.
Again, I think it's the auspice of it being kind of romantic. If you watch this like American Psycho.
Hilarious.
I mean, that's also what this movie could be called. But
so.
That's enough. The pod can't take any more stuffing with Cruel Intentions. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did with this absolutely bizarre movie. Guys, we have much more to come. We have more stuffings ahead of us. Lots of good stuff over on the Patreon. Patreon.com/FilmAlchemistPod. A wonderful library of stuff over there. Make your voices heard, guys. Go over there. Join the club. The YouTube Film Alchemist, the email filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. We're on all the socials too. Find us over there. Tell your friends. That would help out too. Make sure you leave 5-star ratings and reviews wherever and everywhere you find the show. Thank you for your time. We'll see you for the next sexy episode of the Film Alchemist Podcast. Bye.
'Cause it's a bittersweet
Nope.
symphony that's like.
Nope. We got to leave that back where it was. We got to leave that back.
Actually, we do. They got sued for that.
Edit.
Make us famous.